Hi everyone, it's Colin here. We're carrying on our study in Mark, and we're going to be looking at chapter 6 today. We've seen in the last few chapters how Jesus has started his ministry and has built a name for himself. He's made quite a stir. Well, now he's come home to his hometown of Nazareth, where he takes the opportunity on the Saturday to go to the synagogue in the Sabbath celebrations, and he basically starts teaching. He's given the opportunity to have a few words. Obviously, people have heard about Jesus and they want to hear what he has to say. And they're pretty impressed by how he speaks and the authority he has when he starts bringing scriptures and explaining them and speaking with real authority. And they're a bit puzzled by that because this is Jesus. I mean, they know him. We know his family. He's got 4 brothers and a few sisters still in the area. And they're nothing special. Where does he get all this training from? He didn't go to university. They're just normal people. Where did he get all this wisdom and authority from? And he's speaking real words of challenge to us. And they don't seem to like that. In fact, they start recognizing that he's asking them to believe in him. And they think, well, no, he's just Jesus. He's nothing special. What does he do? So he decides to go on the road again. He sends out his disciples. He makes sure that they're prepared by saying to them, look, not everyone's going to listen. Not everyone's going to be a believer. You've just got to shake the dust off your feet and move on to the next town, because opposition's going to come your way. Doubters are going to come your way. In fact, the opposition can be so great that Mark starts talking about King Herod and his reaction when he starts hearing about Jesus and the stir he's making. He says, well, who is this guy? Sounds like John. And I know John's dead because I beheaded him. Has he come back to life? No. Is he an Old Testament prophet? Is he someone that's come back from the past? No. Well, he's some sort of new prophet. Do we have to pay him any attention? What's it all about? And more importantly, is he going to cause any trouble? Because authorities do not like troublemakers. Anyone who rocks the boat or shakes the apple cart. No, this is not what they want. How are they going to handle it? What do they think of this bloke Jesus? Mark really wants us to think about who this Jesus is. Is he an Old Testament prophet, or is he someone that they've got to pay attention to and believe in? Anyway, Jesus' popularity carries on growing, so much so that wherever he goes, he's followed by crowds and crowds of people. And so to get away from everybody, Jesus hops into a boat. Some of his disciples are fishermen, so they know how to handle a boat, and they sail across the Lake of Galilee just to get away from everyone. Only problem is, a lake, no matter how big it is landlocked. So therefore the crowds can just go around the shore until they catch up with you. And that's exactly what happens. The crowds catch up with Jesus when they land. And what is he going to do? Well, Jesus' response is interesting here. He decides to teach, to not say, oh, it's my day off, leave me alone. No, he wants to engage with people. He's got a real heart for people. And so he spends time teaching them about the kingdom, about who he is and what it's like. And then he realises that people actually have some physical needs as well. They need to eat. They followed him out here in the middle of nowhere, and there's no shops, no provisions. What are they going to do? If you didn't bring something, you're going to get hungry. So he asks his disciples, what have we got in stock? And they say, no, barely anything. We've got 5 loaves and a couple of fish. We're not going to be able to feed this. There's 5,000 plus people here. What are we going to do? So Jesus said, no, we can handle that. We can work with that. So he prays and he starts dishing out bread and dishing out the fish, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. And so 5,000 men and all their families get fed. Amazing, total, mind-blowing situation. This is Jesus, the worker of miracles. Anyway, eventually, he dismisses the people and is tired and exhausted. And so he says to the disciples, you go out from the boat and I'm going to spend some time in prayer in the hills. And so Jesus recharges his batteries by reconnecting with his Father. Well, the night comes and the disciples are out on the water and a storm starts brewing up. And this causes the disciples real problems. I mean, they're pretty handy at handling a boat, but even they are struggling with the wind and waves. And in the middle of the night, Jesus starts to follow them. Now, that doesn't mean he starts following them around the lake on the land. No, this is Jesus we're talking about. He starts walking towards them across the water. Whoa, that's amazing. And the disciples freak out at this. And eventually Jesus jumps in the boat and says, calm down. And he calms the storm with just a word. And their minds are blown by the situation. I mean, who is this bloke? Even the wind and the waves obey him. Who is this bloke that can transform 5 loaves and 2 fishes into a banquet for everyone who has need? Thousands of people are fed. This guy is above nature. He is not just natural, he is supernatural. And that is what Mark is trying to get us to realise. Who is Jesus? He is someone with supernatural authority. And we're going to look more of that in the next day.